Hi, and welcome to another episode of ulm-x, Englisch für Fortgeschrittene. Today we're going to be talking about Umgangssprache, or the English term for Umgangssprache, colloquialisms. And these phrases come from a blog post which you can find on ulm-x.com called Colloquial Communication, 22 phrases, German and English. I have them down here on my phone. My handy dandy mobile phone. A lot of people don't really understand why it's called a handy in German, and I do think it's because when they were trying to sell them to the Germans, they were like, look, it's really handy. It's really, really handy. Handy is useful, brauchbar, nützlich, and if you have something handy, it means dass du es griffbereit hast. Let's dive right in. The categories for today are full agreement, funny, and gratitude. Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolut richtig. This is full agreement. Absolutely. Absolut richtig. Exactly. Just like the Germans like to say genau, Americans also like to say their word for genau, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's a full sentence. Someone says something, it sounds really good. There's absolutely nothing you would change about it. You just say exactly. Genau. Ja, genau. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. It's kind of like when you say 100 pro, 100 pro. You could also just say 100%. 100%. Now listen to how I'm not really saying 100%. Really quick. And there are definitely some reductions there. 100%. It's like one quick 100%. 100%. No, 100%. Full agreement. That's for sure. Auf jeden Fall. That's for sure. Auf jeden Fall. That is so true. Das stimmt genau. That is so true. That is so true. What you just said is so correct. Das stimmt, genau, 100%. These are all synonyms, and what I'm trying to do here is give you options. That way you can express yourself in even more color and more detail. You can express yourself even more exactly. Exactly. You bet. In German, you could also say, du kannst darauf wetten. Du kannst darauf wetten. In English, you would just say, you bet. You bet. Are you gonna go to that event? Oh, you bet. Are you gonna stay home? You bet. Whichever. But it's certainty. It's certain, and it's a confirmation, and it's an agreement with what someone already said. This one's similar to the last one. You bet. It's another step. It's another severity. You can bet your life on it. Darauf kannst du Gift nehmen. You can bet your life on it. Darauf kannst du Gift nehmen. Full agreement. You sold me. You sold me. Wörtlich ist es, das hast du mir verkauft. Du hast mich überzeugt. Du hast mich überzeugt. You sold me. In American English, at least, it's very common to say, I'll say. I'll say. When someone says something that you would have said yourself, you can just say, I'll say, das sag ich doch. Das sag ich doch. I'm totally in agreement with the person. Whatever they just said, I would have said it myself. Or, I'm saying it too. I'll repeat you. That's how much I agree. And along these same lines, tell me about it. Tell me about it. It's almost a little bit sarcastic. It's like, yeah, tell me about it. I am just as much an expert on this as anyone because us two, we're in the same boat. Tell me about it. Go ahead, tell me about it. I feel you. Das brauchst du mir nicht sagen. Das brauchst du mir nicht sagen. Ich fühle mich gleich. Tell me about it. And then another variation of this is, you're telling me. I could be telling. So, you're telling me. You're telling me. And the reason that you say that is because you feel like you could be just as well telling them. I could be saying the same thing. You're telling me. It's the same as das brauchst du mir nicht sagen. You don't need to say that to me. I know. But in English, you could say, yeah, you don't need to say that to me, but it doesn't feel as much like you're on the same team just because that's just not the way that that expression is actually applied. When you say, you don't need to tell that to me, you're usually actually defending yourself in some way and kind of disagreeing. You don't need to tell me, tell him. Or you don't need to tell me, that's your job. You don't need to tell me, I know that. But if you say, you're telling me, that means you're on the same side. You're in total agreement with each other. So now let's move on to the funny ones. If something is really, really funny, it's important to have a good vocabulary in how to describe that. One of the best ones, and word for word, it doesn't correspond perfectly with English and between the two languages, English and German, but when you think something is really funny, ich lache mich tot. So funny, so lustig, dass man sich totlacht. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. You can also say, I'm dying. I'm dying. Or, it was so funny, I was dying. Or dying laughing. So that's similar, but this word hilarious is really common and it expresses that exact thing. Ich lache mich tot. Hilarious. Der war gut. That's a good one. That's a good one. And this one's also often sarcastically used. So if someone makes fun of you and you just say, good one, they get it. They know you didn't really think it was funny. But if it is a good one, you can also say, that's a good one. That's a good one. Sometimes you know something's funny, but you don't feel like laughing. It's a good time to say that's a good one. Otherwise, if you're laughing, they know it was a good one. You can also say that's a classic. Oh, it's a classic. Especially if you've heard it before or if you've heard something similar before. It's the same kind of problems that happen to lots of people because the world is, you know, whatever. I don't know, long line at the dump. Oh, yeah, classic. Klassisch. Same thing. Klassisch. That's a classic. All right, now let's move on to gratitude. You're the best. You're the best. Du bist das Beste. It's a really nice way of saying, expressing that you're thankful for what someone did or gave you or how they helped you or what they showed you or whatever. You're very grateful. You just tell them you're the best. Another way of saying that is, I owe you one. Ich schulde dir was. Schulde dir was. I owe you one. Another really common one in the United States, I can't speak to Great Britain on this, but I do think this one's been taken off in popularity within the last 20 years, is I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Yeah. But what it means is I'm thankful. I'm grateful. Most of the time, the value of something doesn't go up just because they're thankful. I mean, if you're really thankful, theoretically, you should use that and take that help that you got or that gift that you got and make the most of it and really appreciate it and use it to its best potential. That's the idea behind that. But ultimately, it just means thanks. It's been degraded in the potency of the phrase. I really appreciate it. Es bedeutet mir sehr viel. You could also say it means a lot to me. Es bedeutet mir sehr viel. I'm really grateful. That's nice and clear language. I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful. That's earnest. Ich bin sehr dankbar. That's so kind of you. Das ist sehr nett von dir. That's so kind of you. I'm so grateful. Very direct and polite. Okay, this is a good one for expressing gratitude even though you don't want whatever it is that they're offering you. Danke trotzdem. Thanks anyway. Thanks anyway. Danke trotzdem. And then, of course, sometimes at the end of an email, you ask for something and you're expecting that to be done. So instead of just saying thanks, you might say thanks in advance. Danke im Voraus. Thanks in advance, because we're assuming you're probably going to do it. And this is the last one. You won't regret it. This one is gratitude and at the same time reassurance to the person who, whatever they did for you, went above and beyond to help you out, and now you want to tell them this is going to pay off. You won't regret it. Du wirst das nicht bereuen. Du wirst das nicht bereuen. You won't regret it. Hey, check out ulm-x.com. You won't regret it. There are a number of videos in this series coming soon. We have a great lineup. We're planning on doing weekly videos for the next few months at least, and have no intentions on stopping in the future. There will be a number of these colloquialism videos in there. A lot of people have left comments and said that it helps them, and they like comparing the languages in sort of a relaxed, normal, daily speech kind of comparison. In addition to those videos, we're going to talk about culture. We're going to do Englisch für Fortgeschrittene, advanced English, because the Germans really get a lot of practice in school, and the German content is tailored to beginners. German for beginners and Englisch für Fortgeschrittene. In addition to some cultural videos, because it's always interesting to compare and contrast. And these colloquialism videos are one of our favorite types. Now that I've told you what's coming up in the future, like, share, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next time. This is Matthew Blunt for ulm-x. Hope you had fun. I sure did.